The weekly warm pipe.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back.
We're here. We're
We're
ready.
here. We're ready. We're ready to go. Jay, check it out. Peep the hat. Look what I got.
Ooh, weekly warp pipe hat.
Got the stitch on there, and
Very
it's
snazzy.
got a green brim underneath there.
I like that.
So shout out to the Retro Stitch on Instagram. Hooked me up with the sweet hat.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to get one, you could, I guess, message me and I can send him the info or coordinate somehow. I wouldn't be able to stock them on the shop though, because of how expensive they are. I'm not going to order a whole bunch and have them
Right,
sitting
and
there.
hope
So
it
they're kind of
sell.
made to order type thing. But
Yeah,
reach out if you want a weekly war pipe stitched hat.
it's
Good
pretty
quality.
cool.
What are we getting into this week, Jay?
Well, you know what's better than 1 and 2? 3.
3.
I guess that's objective, but we're going to be talking about trilogies,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. Games that where the third game is actually better than the first.
Yeah, I had
Which
seen like a meme going around and couple pictures on there, so I thought we put our own take on it.
So that's what brought that up. I wasn't sure. I mean, theoretically, you would think that by the time you got to the third game, you would have made enough improvements that it would be better. Hopefully, um,
Right. I feel
so
like
we're gonna see.
maybe we did make a list of like 10 games that fit that criteria, but maybe after we can almost throw in a couple bonus ones where they didn't, where we thought the first one was actually still better
Yeah,
than the third one because we were like, oh, we're kind of disagreeing on some. We're like, you know what? No, the first one was better on that one. So
and I have some odd taste on some games, so maybe one of these I won't even agree with. We'll see.
fair enough.
But
And
this is what we think the majority of people would think, right?
right.
Like, all right, let's go with it.
The natural, I guess, selection you would assume. So
Assume.
I did put it in our little preview thing um, when I was asking you guys to chime in on this. So we'll get to your comments. But we did have listed on there Super Mario Brothers 3, better than the
Abs-
original.
I mean, that's kind of an easy softball threw out there to hit out the park real quick. I mean, Mario 1 was, at the time it was incredible, right? But what they were able to finally do by the time they got around to the third one blows it out of the water. You got the raccoon tail, you know, you got the crazy giant world. You can fly. Um, you got warp whistles. You got a variety of levels.
I want to say you have a variety too of power ups now instead of the first one. You just had your fire flower and the star power, but now they add
Right.
it. Like you said, you get the raccoon tail, you can get a Tanuki suit, the Hammer Brothers suit, the
Frog
frog
suit.
suit. You can jump into the boot
Yep.
that the enemy has, which is really cool. Um, Again, now you have 8 worlds with a bunch of worlds within that. With Mario 1, you would only have, 1-1, 2, 3, 4. You do a castle and then repeat. Now you have
Yeah.
like maybe 10 levels per world,
Yeah.
essentially.
And
Everything's
and a lot
bigger.
more variation.
Yes, yeah, where they kind of themed each world a little bit more. They could do a little bit more. So you have, desert world, giant world, like you said. There's like a pipe world,
Ice
cloud
World.
up in the clouds. Like
Yep.
so much in there. Yeah, I remember getting the Nintendo Power 2, with the red cover, Super Mario Brothers 3, and it was a full guide to the whole game, giving you
Yeah.
maps, the mini games that they added so you can get the matching correctly. So I
Right.
remember like just going through that and enjoying it so much. And it is pretty interesting that they didn't put no save feature, right? In that game. You need to beat it in one sitting.
That is a toughie. Thank
So
God for
many
the warp
levels.
whistles. Because
Right.
I've never beaten it every level by every level. I've never done that.
Like in one sitting, just sit down
Yeah,
every
I
level.
don't feel like I have that kind of time. As a kid, I never beat it, so I've only beat it as an adult. Hey, you know what else we haven't mentioned? You know what
What's
else they
that?
improved upon?
Mm.
The music.
Yeah. Some banger tracks for sure.
That's right.
good music. Yeah, I mean, everything. Sprite work, Mario looks more defined of
Yes,
what he would normally look like, essentially.
a little less blocky.
Right. Yeah. Overall, way better than the first game.
I think we can all agree. If you disagree, maybe don't tell us.
Maybe this next one I have more of a hot take. I feel like maybe some people would be like, yeah, but the original's a classic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still thinking most will agree.
Okay.
I'm gonna let
Right.
you haul it out.
Okay. And we're talking about the third in the series here, and that is Super Metroid. That is Metroid 3, because you had Metroid and NES, then you had Samus Returns on Game Boy, and then moved over to the Super Nintendo. That's the third in the series. Super Metroid, better than the first.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Classic for
I know,
sure.
right?
Ah, so much more improvements than the first one. Biggest, I would say, they added a freaking map in this one. I would get so lost in the original one, not having a map.
Yeah, the map is so clutch. I mean, Metroid One is as much as I love it, it's almost difficult to play at this point because unless you have it memorized, which I still don't. But that definitely made Super Metroid way easier.
Yeah, I said even now my preferred way to play Metroid 1 is to play Metroid Zero Mission on Game Boy Advance, the remake of it, because it's that much easier because they added the map system and
Yeah,
everything else. But yeah, Super Metroid, you had better environments that just the backgrounds and everything really puts you in that space, whereas on the
yeah.
NES, they couldn't do so much with it. So it's
Well,
like a
there's
lot
like
of
little bugs
black.
crawling off dead bodies.
Right, right.
There's little creatures you can engage with that teach you how to like jump up or like
Mini
run
bosses,
fast.
more mini
Yeah.
bosses. I'll go with that because they had Ridley and Krang in the first one. You have them again, but now they also added Crocomire and a
Yep.
few of the other
You
guys.
got missiles and power missiles, bombs and power bombs, and
Right, so many upgrades to all the weapons. The X-ray scope was so cool,
yeah.
like, getting that as a kid, and you're like, "Oh, okay, it shows, like, if there's a missile." It's like, "Alright, now I gotta cover the entire map and try to find every missile, energy tank, power-up bomb," like, I've never completed it at 100% though.
I don't think I have either.
Probably
And
close, maybe in the '80s, but
yeah, the atmosphere is incredible. Man, there was something I was gonna say, and my cat walked in, and it threw me off.
music too.
I had a good point, Russ.
But like we
I
said,
don't know what it
music
is.
also is improved on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you would think.
Uh oh, I know what it was. I was
Okay.
gonna say I thought it was so cool how when you're playing in Super Metroid, you get to this one area and you're like, "Oh, I know this. I've seen this before. This looks so familiar."
Yes,
And,
yes.
you see, like, the beginning of the level of the
Of
first
Metroid
level,
1,
and
yes.
then even the end of the
Of
last
the
level
yeah.
where you busted all those little cylinders to, like, get to Mother Brain, and it's like, "Okay, this is gonna be crazy." Like, it's almost like when Castlevania 3 or sorry, 4 had music from Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 in it, and it's like, oh man, it's like nostalgia within another video game, which is the way James Rolfe described it. But it's just like you see that and you're like, oh my god, we're back on Zebes, like this is gonna get crazy.
Right, yeah,
So
that was a cool detail for sure, so appreciate
also
them
that
putting
that
it in.
intro,
Oh, yeah,
like
scary as heck.
you
Just like
go in.
or like intro of the opening screen, or you mean the
Well,
when you're at the stage?
kind of the whole intro, like the
Okay.
whole thing. You turn it on, you get the creepy music, you get little bits of the story from previous Metroids, and then you start playing the game and you kind of go through the laboratory, and then run into Ridley and he flies off with the Metroid, and it's just you're like, it's about to get real. Like what an epic way to start that game. It's so good.
Absolutely. So, better better than the first Super Metroid.
for
I dig
sure.
it. Moving on to our list, you did kind of bring up Castlevania, but we did want to add onto the list Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse.
Yep.
Better than the original Castlevania?
Oh man, this one's like one of the few that like I'm so beholden to the original one. Um, I do think they improved upon it with Castlevania 3. It's a lot harder. It's way the heck harder. So I think that the simplicity of the first one I kind of like, but I like the branching pathways,
Hmm.
not waves, ways. Uh, the characters you can drag along with you. You can get Alucard and Grant and Sypha and uh a lot more enemies and levels and bosses, and the final fight with Dracula is a really cool fight. I don't think it's as hard as people say it is, but it's still pretty cool. Um, but man, the stairs on that game are are evil. It's like the hardest part of the whole game.
Especially when you're in like the clock tower area or whatever, and like, oh, it's
Yeah,
like no, no, the stairs are the most. That's what James wrote the AVG. I was
yeah,
like, the stairs, the most
yep,
hardest enemy.
exactly. The worst enemy in the whole game.
But yeah, like you said too, it's this one's definitely a tough one because I do enjoy Castlevania One. Like I feel like I would put that on quicker because it's easier to play a game through it, get
Yep,
kind of far, and then put it down with three. You're like, okay, like I'm sitting down and we're playing. I can't really
yeah.
just do like one level or two levels.
Well, the nice thing is at least they were smart enough to give you a password system for the third game, because
Right.
they knew that was gonna be a bit more time involved than the 30 minutes to an hour, depending on your skill level of getting through the first one. You know,
Yeah.
this other one's much bigger.
And the first one almost gives you a arcade vibe.
Mhm, a
I
little bit.
feel, where you're just, moving left to right to left, back and forth, getting a high score. Whereas the third one, it's that more sense of adventure. Like you said, you get branching paths. You almost
Right,
want to play again and take the different paths to see where they go. Who are you going to take with you on
right.
your
Gives
quests?
you
Like, it's definitely
multiple
a lot
replay
more.
value with all
Right.
that.
So much more involved. So a lot of improvements on it. I know people will probably be on the fence in this one, but we figured we mention it and put it on the
Yeah,
list.
give 3 the slight edge.
Yeah.
51-49.
All right, Jay's got to talk to this next one because I don't know too much about this.
Alright, so the next one is an Xbox 360 game known as Halo 3. I mean, Halo 1, compared to Halo 3 is pretty bare bones. I mean, the shotgun's awesome and the pistol's awesome and the rocket launcher's awesome, but they take all that stuff and make it even cooler. Um, like it has like a great story. Um, I think the third one is I haven't played these in so long. I could be confusing the second one with the third one, but like one you can actually play as the Arbiter,
Okay.
which is like one of the enemies in the game, and that's pretty cool. And I mean, mostly it's just like a huge graphic upgrade, and um, you still have dual wielding from Halo 2. Um, but I don't know. For me, it was always about the multiplayer too. Like I loved the online experience for multiplayer.
Right.
And
And they
Halo
had
3,
multiplayer in the first one.
yeah. And
Okay.
Halo 3 just had some. Now I don't know if you could play Halo 1 on Xbox Live. I think they just had like LAN parties.
Right.
I can't speak to that, but I know in Halo 3 when you did play multiplayer, it was you could play, if you had 4 friends, you could play at home with 4 friends, but you could also play Xbox Live, and I was all about the levels in Halo 3 were so fun and varied. I wish I could think of some of the names. It's been so long since I played it. I have it right here though. It is literally where are you, Halo 3?
All
Nope, I got
right.
2, I got 1, I got Reach.
Three
Halo 3
must
must
be
be at
in
my
the system.
it's at my mom's, right, because I played over there on the weekend sometimes when I'm at her house.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I wish I could say more about it, but I am a little rusty on it, but I do obviously know that it's much better than the first one. Not that the first one's bad, kinda like Castlevania, but
Right. But they
the
made
third
good
one's
improvements and
oh,
saw where they needed
absolutely,
to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, great game. Sorry, I can't
Halo
speak
3.
more to it.
Um, yeah, I said again, when putting together the list, some of the games were certainly hard to add to the list where we're like, oh, what about this one? Or like, no. And then it's like, I didn't play this one. We had brought up some other series. You're like, I didn't
Yep.
play the third one of that. But this was coming up on list online. I thought we would read it and it had to make the list. And that is Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, I haven't played none of the Grand Theft Auto games. Okay, I played a
Yeah,
little bit,
neither have I,
a
sadly.
little tiny bit of Grand Theft Auto 5, but people I know rave about 3. So I have a little write up I'll read about here, and it did say that it was revolutionary here. Grand Theft Auto 3 has done as well compared to the other all time great third entries. However, it is still tough to deny its greatest in gaming history. It laid out the framework for the sandbox open world genre that continues to be heavily popular over 20 years later. It also helped usher in the popularity of the Grand Theft Auto franchise that has made Grand Theft Auto 5 one of the biggest games ever released, and its sequel, Grand Theft Auto 6, one of the most anticipated games ever. Playing GTA 3 now is a bit rough, especially through the much what's this here? Steadied Improvement Definitive Edition. Yet at the time, there was nothing like running around Liberty City causing mayhem on the roads and messing around with the cheat codes. Many games can say they're influential, but have made as big of an impact as GTA 3. Now, I will say, I know GTA 1 was this like top down perspective, almost like I guess maybe a Sim City like simulator type thing. Like you're looking at the city like if you were in the sky, right?
Okay,
And I think when they got to Grand Theft Auto 3, it switched to that like you're standing and you're in the city now and you can
okay,
traverse and walk around like that. So from the first one to that, them changing the perspective was that much better, being more immersive that way.
right. Like you were down in the streets.
Right. And I'm I know with Grand Theft Auto 5, you can switch if you wanna do first person or third person. I'm not sure if it was like
Oh,
that
that's cool.
on the third one, but like I said, just changing that the way you played the game was that much more. So, Grand Theft Auto 3, better
Cool.
than the first.
We're going with the popular vote on it.
Yeah. What do we got, Jay? Think you were on the fence on this one.
This next one, I'm on the fence on, Russ. I mean, I think if you would have asked me as a 10-year-old or however old I would have been when this came out, I would have definitely said this game. I don't know. We're going to say TMNT, the Manhattan Project on the NES, is better than the first game. But I say that I love the first game so much because I'm actually better at the
It
first
took 20
game.
years for you to fall in love with it.
It did, dude. That was the. I don't know if I ever told this story, but I took the first game back after
Right.
getting it for Christmas because I did not like it that much. After playing it for like 2 days, I was like, I want rollerblades. Um, but now that I can play it and understand the mechanics of it, I appreciate it a lot. But uh, we all know that as kids, we love Turtles too because it's more of what we wanted, more of that arcade feel. And
Mhm.
Turtles 3 just gives you more of that with
Yeah,
different
yeah.
character, different enemies. I mean, you start out on a beach. The turtles are on vacation, chilling on a beach. Like, how cool is that? So um, it probably is objectively a better game.
Right.
So
This one's tough because since 2 and 3 follow the same format and 1 is more of a, I guess you would say like adventure style type
yeah,
game,
absolutely,
rather when we were comparing Castlevania to Castlevania 3, they're still about the
more
same
similar, right?
side scrolling adventure where this one changed genres basically and was like, ah, the kids want basically the arcade game, so let's give them that. So I feel like
Yep.
because of that reason, it made the list. It's like, this is what we more wanted. I bet you a lot of kids like you were frustrated when they got the game back in the day, Turtles 1,
Yeah.
that is, and didn't know
Oh,
what
yeah,
to do.
absolutely.
even with, like, some of the enemies in the game, you're like, "Who are these people?" Yeah, they had Bebop and Rocksteady, but, like,
Right.
who's
Mr.
the guy
Fireman.
who's the fire guy? What are these, like, bug things?
Yeah.
Like, you're not pulling any of the cool characters, like, where are those guys? So,
Where's Krang? Yeah, like, where's all these people? But did I ever tell you my excuse, Russ, that I made up for myself as a kid for those enemies?
you probably did, you can tell us
I
again.
always said they must just be from Dimension X.
Right,
That
and
was all I had.
I felt like they coulda just inserted, like, one of those still cutscenes of, like, a portal and
With,
just
like, a ton of crazy stuff coming through?
and like, "Oh, okay." Like,
Oh,
boom,
that
simple.
explains it all. Could have been explained so easy.
Right.
Konami, Ultra, whoever you are, just come talk to us. We're full of good ideas.
Where's, John Riggs to do a hack that just
That's
adds
right.
that one scene?
Just adds that one portal and fixes it all.
Ugh. I still yet to beat the first one because
Oh, I
it's
can
so
walk you
hard.
through it one day, Russ.
Well, here's what's funny is so I had bought the, TMNT collection, right? And
Yeah.
it comes with the games on there, and on I mean, I haven't fired it up in a while, but I know on Turtles 2 and 3, they let you activate cheat codes where you're,
Okay.
like, invincible, so you could just play
Nice.
the game and, like, easily win. But
Right.
on Turtles 1, they didn't put any
Mm.
freaking codes, and I'm like, Why can't I just be invincible in Turtles 1 so I can see the end of this damn game?"
Next time we have a weekend together, which who knows when that'll be, Russ. If you want to play it, I will try to guide you better than I guided Riff on Super C and get you through it.
Fair enough. We'll see, it's in my future.
That's right.
Let's see, we'll do one more, and that'll leave the next 3. We can
Okay,
jump
cool.
over to what the people were saying. So the next one on the list, we'll go back and forth because Jay didn't really play much of the first one or remember, but we thought we would add Luigi's Mansion 3 better
Yes.
than the first one. Now you were playing this with your son, right? You played
Yep.
through
So
3?
me and Colin played through all of 3. It was the first Luigi's Mansion game I ever played. I was a little skeptical of playing it because um I didn't know anything about the first 2 games and I was scared it was gonna ruin it for me. Once I got the other thing that was took a while to get into was, like, not having, like, a jump button, but you have to
Right.
use more like this, like, little jetpack move that, like, flings Luigi in the air. That took some getting used to, but once I adapted to it, I thought that game was so fun and so good. But I don't know the first game to compare it to, but I gotta imagine it's better.
Right, right. So the first one I played through, I believe I did a live stream last year, probably around this same time here, and so I finally beat it because I bought that game when it came out. Like, that was it was launched, I got the GameCube, I wanted Luigi's Mansion, and I got stuck early on, never went back to it. Tried to play it somewhat recently, wasn't getting the hang of it, and then I was like, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna use a walkthrough, whatever I gotta do to beat this game," because
Yeah.
I had gotten 1, didn't beat it, I had bought 2, didn't beat it, and got 3 and didn't beat it, so I was like, "I need to freaking complete these games."
Right.
So I did finally beat Luigi's Mansion 1. It is a fairly short game once you know what you're doing,
Right.
and they did it was cool that, Luigi had his own game. This is cool. He's doing his haunted house stuff. So
Yeah.
with 3, I mean, they just added so much different things to it. There's, you're in what is it? It's a hotel now instead of a
Yeah,
haunted
it's like a
house.
hotel, it's
So you
huge.
get like, 20
Multiple
levels of
levels.
yeah, because there's different levels you could go up and you have to find all these extra pieces. You get Goo Luigi in this one, which is
Yeah, Guigi.
a gooey version of Luigi that can go through like grates and stuff. So the puzzles are just that much more in the game.
Yep.
The story is fantastic, and I believe they added like extra stuff too. Like once you beat the game, you can go to a another tower as like a
Oh,
high
wow.
score challenge thing or whatever. So there's
Yeah.
certainly a lot involved. Well, that kind of that reminded me. So if you guys do search on my YouTube channel, Also, I was gonna bring up, I don't know if we ever mentioned that we have YouTube channels. It's just assumed that maybe
Right.
the people just listen to us on Spotify. They found us as like, "Oh, cool, a retro game god podcast," but me and Jay both have YouTube channels. I'm more active than Jay, but he has his videos still up on there.
I got tons of old videos you can watch that you can peruse through. If I ever make another video is yet to be determined. I keep having good intentions of coming back. It just hasn't happened. Maybe one day.
We'll see. But it
But
so,
that's why the weekly warp pipe's so great. I get to come on here and pretend I'm still involved.
but what made me jog my memory, I did do a DIY here. If you want to search on Russ Lyman's YouTube channel, I did a DIY of the Poltergust 5000 that I made
Oh, that's
here.
sick. That is sick.
So one of my friends at work, her son wanted to be uh Luigi with the backpack and all that. So I said, all right, I'll make one. So I ended up finding this vacuum here and it's shaped perfectly. And what reminded me, we're having like big pickup in my area today. And I drove
Uh-huh.
by a house and I was like, oh my God, that's the shape of the backpack. Like I almost should grab it
So
to do another one.
so you found another one of these today?
I didn't pick it up though, like I should have. I
Oh,
mean, I
why
guess I could
not?
still, I guess I could still
Go,
grab
Russ,
it
go.
because
What's wrong
this
with you?
one I had gotten free. My uncle had found it, and it's like the perfect shape essentially to do the backpack. And I end up painting it and I had to get some like PVC pipes or whatever to kind of make the thing there and I put a glow stick in it.
That's so
I made it
rad.
in like a few days. It's a little bulky, but it's great for, a little cosplay there. And
Yeah,
I put a little arcade button and a tap light there so when you press the button, it kind of mimics like it's gonna suck or whatever.
yeah, that's fun.
But I thought it was fun. So Luigi's Mansion, definitely a fun one.
That's so cool, I love it. That is so cool. Russ, you're full of so many good ideas.
There we go. So feel free to check out that DIY. And we did ask you guys, what should make the list. Perhaps you'll mention ones that we already mentioned or ones coming up. But we'll check out our social medias over on, let's see, we have YouTube on the community page, and we got a comment on our Facebook page as well.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
All right, on our Facebook page, we got Aaron chimed in and said, I'd have to say God of War 3 and Gears of War 3. By the time the God of War series hit its third installment, combat, graphics, and level scale made this same feel epically huge. Still my favorite game in the God of War series. And Gears of War 3 had a better storyline than the previous two, touching on Dom, Cole, and Marcus. I also think Horde mode in the third game was far better in that one as well. Also, the Dom sacrificing himself to destroy the locusts and save his friends, while Gary Jules' version of Mad World Plays was a total tearjerker. I guess spoiler alert in case you haven't played that one, but too late.
Hey, that's cool that a Tears for Fears song, even though covered by Gary Jules, is in it.
Nice. Now, have you played any of the Gears of War or God of War games, Jay?
No, I have
None
not.
of them.
Nope.
I played a few minutes at my friend's house of I don't know which Gears of War, just because I've never owned an Xbox, and I believe it's only on Xbox exclusive with that.
God of
But
War is only on PlayStation, right?
yes, and
Am I
God of
wrong?
War is only on PlayStation.
I've seen
So,
somebody play it before, but
uh-huh,
I don't know, just the character doesn't appeal to me. I don't like his red face and his stupid white face, and I don't know,
it's red and white face.
he's
Yeah, I
dumb.
played the first one, beat it, and I probably started the second one, but didn't go through. And I had stopped playing the series then, and didn't go back until it was on the new gen systems. God of War, was it Ragnarok? Was I think one of the last ones that came out, and then I
Wish I knew,
played the
dude.
newest one too. So those and they kind of switch gameplay a little bit more on that, but we'll take your word for it.
That's right. Ba-dum-bum.
And then we'll check here on our YouTube page. We got Mike chiming in, says Super Mario 3, Castlevania 3, and Double Dragon 3 are some of my favorites.
Double Dragon 3. I don't like that game. Compared to the first two, I don't get it.
It's been a minute since I played it. Does it not give you unlimited continues as well? I
I
forget.
don't know. It's really, for me, it's more about the controls. I don't
Okay,
think I'm not as good at fighting on that game as the other two. I feel like it's a
gotcha.
lot more challenging. Maybe I just need to get good, son.
Get good. We got River City Ransom.
We can just skip his comment. He's nobody.
Fair enough.
I'm joking.
We got Streets of Rage 3 is one. But the biggest one for me is Final Fantasy 3. Kefka is, to this day, my favorite Final Fantasy villain. The soundtrack and the story is almost on par with Chrono Trigger.
Whoa, that's a big
Top
statement.
10 SNES game easily, and the best Final Fantasy as well.
Well,
And
I was asking you
yeah,
about that earlier, Russ, and we didn't know the
right.
answer. So,
Well, and I had
River City
wanted
Ransom
to,
does.
I don't think it's still on sale, but I was going to pick up the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster Collection, where they do like 1 through 6 or whatever, all redone. And I'd like to go through them, even though, probably be time consuming. But to see how good is 3 compared to 1, I don't know.
I don't know. Is I'm trying not to stutter. Is one of those on the Super NES Classic?
Maybe. Yeah,
I
I
feel like
want to
one of
say
them
so.
is.
I feel like one is.
I need to just play that one day.
Just pop it in for a few hours.
I'll just do it right after I beat Chrono Trigger. Don't worry.
All right. We'll hold you to it. Purchase Blurs Thrifting. This one may be up for argument. Battletoads and Battle Maniacs. The first Battletoads was definitely a hard game to beat. The second was a completely different game released for the Game Boy. Not as difficult by any means, but the plot was different under the same Battletoads name as the NES release. The third, Battle Maniacs, was really fun for Super NES release. Great graphics and gameplay. I really wish they made a current game on Nintendo Switch. I think they made a game that was on Xbox because Xbox bought Rare, and so they had, which I was kind of upset because they made a Killer Instinct game that was only on Xbox, and I believe a Battletoads game, and I was like, I
So
don't
there's
have
a Battletoads
Xbox.
game on Xbox?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
man, I
Let
gotta
me
look this
see.
up. If it's not expensive, I'd like
Battletoads
to try
on
it.
Xbox.
I'm a huge Xbox fanboy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like it's basically got the the rendition of like Shredder's Revenge, right? Let me see if I
I
can.
don't know. I'm looking.
If you guys are watching, I'll bring it up here. But it's like a cartoony version here.
Oh, did it come out in 2022? This is recent.
Let's see. Yeah, when was it released here? What does it say? Xbox Game Studios. It's get it with the Game Pass. It's $20. I'm not seeing a date when it came out.
Is there not a hard copy? Oh, here. It's $27.
Released in 2020, August 2020.
Okay.
But it looks super fun. It's like, it got the
Yeah.
cartoon graphics, but like they got
Yeah.
the speeder bikes in there. Battletoads. So if you guys got an
Not
Xbox
not a
and
fan of that art style.
you don't like that art style.
Nah, I'm too much of a purist. I'll just stick to the original.
What do we got? Nexus in the house says Contra 3. You ride on a hover bike and destroy a bunch of stuff until you grab onto a helicopter where you defeat a ninja and then get
That's wild.
shot via missile to defeat a warship. Contra 1 and 2 were great, but 3 perfected the action movie feel, in my opinion. And then also
Yeah.
we got Dragon Punch Dave chimes in too. In my opinion, Contra 3 Alien Wars was graphically superior to the other two games with its overhead view and impressive bosses. The third Legend of Zelda game, A Link to the Past, was significantly improved over its predecessors, featuring beautiful graphics and a memorable soundtrack. My third choice is one of my all time favorites, Super Mario 3. It offers a wide variety of diverse worlds, catchy music, and colorful graphics that were impressive for its time. And lastly, we got Stevie V. Well, I forgot, I was messing it up. Stevie's Man Cave Arcade. There we go.
It's a lot to say.
Yeah. Of course, Super Mario 3 would be on top of most people's list. It's a perfect game, in my opinion. Some others that come to mind are The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3,
Hmm.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3,
Hmm.
Showdown Legends of Wrestling on PS2, Pokemon Silver/Gold. I'm assuming Pokemon Yellow counts as the second installment, even though it was similar to Red and Blue. There's a lot more games, but these are the ones off the top of my head.
Cool.
Nice. So that's what you guys were chiming in saying. Usually I post on Wednesdays, maybe Tuesdays sometimes, if you guys want to get your comments in, and then we'll read them on the show. Or you could even call us and leave us a voicemail on that topic as well. The phone number is 949-682-9277, 949-682-WARP. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the show.
We will. You can hear your own voice.
Make sure you tell us who you are. Hey, this is so-and-so. And then
Yeah.
go into whatever you're going to say.
It is strange how often people just start going, "Hey,
Right.
Russ, AJ, I just want to tell you," and I'm like, "Who are you?
Who are you? Who do you work for?
Where are you?" I'm sorry.
All right, so we got the last three here. We put Sonic 3 better than the
We
first.
did.
Even
Well,
Sonic
here's the
2 is
thing.
better than the first, I feel.
The thing about Sonic 1 is the only level built for speed is the first level. Like Green Hill Zone, everything
Mhm.
else is kind of like a slog. I
Yeah,
mean,
I kind of.
there might be a little something here and there. That water level is torturous. Torturous
Yeah,
slow.
yeah, I feel like they're pushing like Sonic's fast, fast, fast. You get pumped for that first level, and then the other ones you're just carefully platforming, or else you're just gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where I feel
Yep.
like they got it down better by the time they got to the third one. It's like, all right,
Yes.
let's design these levels a little bit more. Definitely some catchy tunes for sure.
Didn't Michael Jackson have something to do with the soundtrack for Sonic 3? Or is that just a rumor?
No, I'm pretty sure he did. And let's see, Michael
Because don't you
Jackson
even hear it go, "Oh"?
soundtrack Sonic. I forget which one it is here. Yeah, it is Michael Jackson songs in Sonic 3. Did Michael
Yeah.
Jackson do the soundtrack? Sonic's creator confirms that Michael Jackson collaborated in the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 soundtrack, although he
It's
doesn't
cool.
appear in the credits due to an argument um, with Yuji Naka has put an end to more than 25 years of mystery. Oh, look, and you gotta show this. Let's see this picture here of
Let's see
Michael
it. Is
Jackson
it
with
Michael
Sonic.
Jackson and Sonic?
I was like, this is great.
Let's see this.
Go away. What is this?
Ooh, that's amazing.
It's like this big plush version of Sonic.
He's holding up the finger though.
But yep. So confirmed. So the music
Cool.
has to be awesome if
That's
Michael
right.
Jackson helped write it. So
If MJ
better.
made it, it's got to be way better. Even though I will say, Green Hill Zone Act 1 music, oh, that almost made me buy a Sega Genesis.
It does slap. Perfect. All right, what do we got? What do we got?
Let's see. You want me to swing us off to the next one? Mega Man 3 is better than the pistol toting Mega Man 1.
Pistol toting.
Because remember on the video on the front, he's on the pistol. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, the only bad thing about Mega Man 3 is isn't there like a classic 1 pixel is missing in the on the select screen?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about
For the
this.
longest time, I thought my TV had a glitch in it, but later I found out that there is just a missing pixel or something. Feel free to correct me in the comments, whatever the case may be. But yeah, next time you play Sonic 3, it's on the bottom right half side of the screen.
Okay.
It looks like something's going on there, but I think it happened to all of them
Like during the stage
during the
select?
production. Yeah, it's in the stage select when you. I
Okay.
mean, maybe you can even YouTube it. I don't know. But I mean, it's just got all the cool things. Like, isn't RC in Sonic 3 the little dog? Isn't his name RC? Or did I make that up?
Rush. Rush.
Rush. Yeah. See. Well, Russ is here to fact check me. It's like ball of hair.
You got Rush. They added the slide. You can now slide with
That's
Mega
right.
Man, so that became a staple. Um,
Yep.
more bosses, but the first one you didn't have 8 robot masters. There was only 6, I think.
Yeah, I think there was 6.
And then for whatever reason, they had a point system in the first one. They thought like
Yeah.
would be cool, and they got rid of that. So I was like, okay. Um, yeah, music's fantastic for sure.
Yep.
Let me see. I'm looking up a screen of the playthrough here.
Ba-da-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, da-da-dum.
You hear Jay's
It's pretty good,
rendition.
isn't it? That's pretty good. Me remember then.
It's supposed to be down here somewhere.
I thought it was maybe my copy just sucks and I'm wrong.
Missing pixel. I don't see anything here.
Google it.
Missing pixel in Mega Man 3.
Oh, there it is. No, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw it. We must confirm this.
Is anyone annoyed by? Okay, what do we got? We got Reddit. We're looking at Reddit here.
Yep, there it is, bottom right, just above Shadow Man.
Oh, it
I always thought
is.
it scraped the pins on my cartridge or something. Yep,
Oh, why did I click it? Yeah, so it's not completing the
yeah.
circle or whatever. It's kind of cut off by the name
You see
there.
the line on the left there?
As a kid, I always thought I'd scraped the pins in my cartridge or something and it caused it to permanently glitch out like that. I was surprised to see the exact same misaligned group of pixels when I opened the ROM in emulators years later.
Yep. I always
Wow.
when I got mine, I was like, "Oh, I was like, dang, my Mega Man 3 is glitchy." Nope,
So,
everybody's is.
so there you go. The more you know.
The more you know.
And then we have our last one on the list, which was already mentioned. To no surprise, Zelda: A Link to the Past, better than the original Zelda on NES.
Absolutely.
I
It's so good.
I would say, I mean, it's definitely improved because 'cause you're on the Super Nintendo, right? The first
Right.
one definitely was, like, groundbreaking and had
Oh,
such a
absolutely. What
great,
a
sense of adventure, like, the second quest if you wanted to mix stuff up and kinda replay it, so replay value, and I've definitely gone back and beaten that game quite a few times and had a good time playing it, but with A Link to the Past, you're beefed up to Super Nintendo, so you're getting crisper graphics. You can do a lot more, like have the weather, like the rain, how it starts off and it's like a
yep,
rainy night for sure is like adds that, I don't know, sense of dread. You're like, what's going
yep.
on?
Yeah,
Obviously more power-ups. The light and dark world, like, oh my God,
that's so
having two
cool.
different worlds, puzzles with that. It's been a while
Yep,
since I played it. I almost
me
feel
too.
like I need to go back and
I
give
wonder
it
if
a
I could
go.
my son loves Zelda so much. I feel like we need
Experience
to
it.
get into some yeah, he needs to get into it.
I'm sure it's been so long, I probably forgot where most stuff is, so it'd be a fresh playthrough.
Yeah, yeah. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, it's so
Yeah,
good. The
great
music's so
music.
rad.
Yeah.
Link has pink hair. I mean,
And how about, I don't know the full story, but there was a Nintendo Power contest. You know about this?
Speak further to it. You've only said a little. I don't know. There's a lot of Nintendo Power contests. Oh,
I haven't given a
the
game.
one where he puts his name in it.
Right. So
th-
you won a contest, and there's a dungeon or secret area with rupees, and it's named after the person who won the contest. It's
Remind
in
me his
there or
name.
whatever. I don't. Yeah, I'll Google it now. But
Matt Brannigan. I don't know. Did I just make that up? Probably.
sell the link to the past
I think his
contest
name is Jay Crouch
winner.
or Russ Lyman, Jordan Baxley,
It is Chris Houlihan.
Houlihan. That's it.
Before the game's release, Nintendo Power ran a competition with the grand prize winner having their name in a secret room in the game. A room so secret that few would find it. The winner's name was Chris Houlihan.
Chris Houlihan.
Houlihan. So,
What a
yeah,
name.
you go somewhere and it's mentioned like about, oh, there's a room with treasure, like, and they mention the name. So that's pretty cool.
That is rad. Chris Houlihan. You're like, like, why hasn't Chris Houlihan been interviewed by somebody? Is he still alive? Like, where is this person? Chris, are you out there? Speak to us.
What is this?
Wouldn't that be sick?
The
I
Chris,
forget to find
yeah.
him on Facebook. How do you spell
Well,
his
how
last
would you?
name?
How would you know if it's
Just
H
stalk him.
Houlihan? I was gonna say, did he respond anywhere here? There was a guy who claimed he was Chris Houlihan on the Zelda forum 3 months ago, posted on Reddit. Is he the true
Sweet.
one? How would you even know? How could you confirm that?
I don't know.
Because
There's a lot of Chris Houlihan, surprisingly.
if he would have to have maybe saved a letter that was sent
Yeah.
back to him after he won the contest. Like if they sent him a letter, like congratulations, you won. This is what we're gonna
What
do. Like, did they tell him? I don't know.
that seems like something like that Pixel Game Squad would find at a swap meet. Like, we got the
Oh,
original Chris Houlihan letter. Oh my god, look at us. We did it. Like, that would be something that Aaron would totally find because he's always finding random paperwork now,
dude, I
like
know it.
the craziest things come out of California
So
and people.
that was our list. Top three, like this third game better than the first.
That's
But
right.
did you have any that when we were trying to make this list, you're like, nah, the first was better. Doesn't top the third.
What did we say? I can't remember now what we talked about. I'm looking back to see what's behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
While you're scoping around,
one of the things we talked about was the Arkham games.
Right, we're gonna mention the
But I don't.
Arkham
But
games.
I've only played City and Asylum.
Right, you got City Asylum and Arkham Knight as well.
I never played Knights, so I can't compare it. Yeah.
Yeah, or Knight. No S.
Knight. Sorry, Knight.
Because there is an Arkham Knights game.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed playing that series for sure. So that possibly could have made, but we didn't have too much to contribute to that. But we did bring up the BioShock series. Jay was like,
Oh yeah.
is BioShock Infinite better than the original BioShock? And I was like, nah, I
Because
feel like the first one's better.
I've only played the first one. I've never
Mhm.
played. I have all three on my Switch, but I've never played the other two yet. Because I
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
replay the first one, and I kind of stopped about halfway through.
And I said it's tough too to kind of compare because the third one you're in the sky, so it's a different
Right.
atmosphere
Right.
rather than being in Rapture. But I feel like that first one just hits a lot better with the story and everything.
Just hits different.
Stuff does get tied together, and there was DLC for BioShock Infinite that did take you back to Rapture to kind of
Mm-hmm.
button stuff up, but just as like standalone, like 1, 2, 3 or whatever, I still think the first one's good. What are the games that were escaping our
We
memory?
mentioned Double Dragon, but I said I didn't like the third one, so we kind of dropped that.
Right. You
Oh,
mentioned
Ninja Gaiden, but we said the first was better than the third.
right. That had come up where is the third one better than the first? And I was like, I feel like the first one's better. The third one they give you less continues, right? You're
Right.
limited to your continues, and Ninja Gaiden 3, so it makes it that much harder. There are better elements of like that they add it where you can climb up and down the wall rather than you're just stuck to it. And I think changing your weapon is easier if you pick something you don't want. But the first one is such a classic. I feel like that one just takes the cake. I'd rather play 1 than 3.
There's 3 RoboCop games, but they all suck.
That is
Everything
true.
else-
I own all of them complete in box because it was like, oh, I got 1 in box. Let me just that was like a set.
So
I was like, I'll get
I only own the first one and the third one, but the third one I found at a yard sale right down the street from my house.
nice.
So I have it. It's not complete though. I don't think I have the manual.
I think one of them is semi okay. I'll have
Yeah,
to go back and try to check it out. I mainly got it because the box art looks awesome. Like it's so cool. It's that, it's RoboCop from the
you're
movies and
right.
like that just looks sweet. So, and
Yeah,
when I was getting it, it it wasn't that expensive to get the boxes. So I was like spending like, $40 or like
right,
maybe $60 for the third one.
right.
Now I don't know what they are. I'm sure they're over 100.
It's about 200 for the third one if you have all of it and it's in
Oh,
good
okay.
shape.
And then, other series we couldn't test to because we haven't played. I was like, maybe the Mario Party series, maybe Mario Party 3, better than Mario Party 1, might have made a list.
Yeah,
Um, we could have done, I guess, Mario Kart. What would Mario Kart 3 be? I guess Double Dash
maybe. I don't know.
on GameCube, possibly.
Yeah, I've only played the Wii version and the
Mhm.
Super NES version, so I don't know.
But I mean, that kind of sums up kind of ones we were debating to put on the list. We made our top 10 list, the ones we thought third one's better than the first one. Certainly, you can let us know in the comments what you think should have made the list, or maybe we were wrong. Call
Yeah,
us out,
call us and
or
call us out.
or just call us again, 949-682-9277. You could hit up our website as well, theweeklywarpipe.com. We have all our shows on there in case you missed any. We got merch on there, videos. And again, if you want to check out me and Jay's YouTube channels, it's just Russ Lyman and NES Addict. Of course, there's links in the description if you're on YouTube, but if you're just listening, feel free to add us on there as well.
Once again, buy a shirt from me because they're only going to be around for this year and they're
That's it.
done.
And they're done. Limited.
Limited edition.
Quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. We got Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic16, and Austin Mills. You support us through my Patreon over at Russ Lyman. Get early access, behind the scenes stuff, all the goodies.
That's right.
And that sums up this week's episode. Hopefully, you guys had a great time getting some nostalgia there, jumping in the warp pipe with us. And as always, we'll see you on the next level.